Hello once again and welcome to biology class. And of course, as you can see obviously from the board, we are going into a new topic, which is what? Supporting tissues. Okay, I'm very sure you're going to enjoy your time. All right, so please do not forget that these tutorials, that these episodes that are brought to you by the O3 schools, JAMB and WAEC applications. All right, so if you want to pass your exams at once, okay, for JAMB or for WAEC, okay, this app is highly recommended. It comes highly recommended. If you think we are joking, go and check our testimonies. Okay, just go to O3 schools, search for O3 schools on YouTube and check our testimonies. All right, we will see the features of the application very soon. Okay, please just stick with us for a moment. Let's quickly see a JAMB pass question, okay, from the O3 schools app. This is a biology question 1997 number 3. 1997 number 3. We got this using the question search feature on the application, a very important tool that will help you to gain understanding, okay, about how examiners set questions on each topic after you have finished studying. Okay, so let us see the question. It is being displayed on the screen. It said, which of the following is the youngest plant tissue? Which of the following is the youngest plant tissue? A says meristem, B says phloem, C says epidermis, D says xylem. All right, so we'll come back to this question and many more at the end of the class, okay, and not before, because at O3 schools we pride ourselves in giving you value first. Okay, let us teach you first so that when you see questions, it will be a piece of cake for you. That is why we're advising you to download the O3 School JAMB app immediately. The app has everything you need to succeed in your exam. All the past questions for all the subjects are in one application. Amazing features like the classroom feature with lecture notes, with study plan. That study plan, it will crush all of your subjects, okay, and create a timetable for you to what? To study with, so that you can be able to finish your syllabus for both JAMB exam and for WAEC examination. Is that not wonderful? Likewise, there's the question search feature. You can search for question according to topics, and the question that either JAMB or WAEC has set, okay, will come out for you to answer, and then you will be free to go after finishing and chewing all of the questions confidently. Likewise, what's more, there's also the UTME what challenge, okay, or the WAEC challenge on the WAEC app also. Okay, in this challenge, all students writing JAMB come together. They compete with each other to win amazing prizes every Saturday. Okay, however, the main purpose of the exam is not the prizes. Okay, it's for you to challenge yourself, it's for you to gauge yourself, it's for you to see how prepared you are. All right, so please ensure you take the opportunity to join in all of the challenges and a couple of many other features, as you can see right now, that I cannot talk about because of time. Okay, so I advise you, get the application, activate it. Activation is less than the price of rice and chicken in a good restaurant. Okay, so please do not waste your time. Pass your exam at once. This is what you want, and this is what your parents will also want. Okay, so if you want to activate your app, you can message this number on WhatsApp. Okay, message this number on WhatsApp and say, I've downloaded the O3 Schools app, I want to activate, and then the procedure will be sent to you. So let us quickly go to supporting tissues today. Supporting tissues today. All right, so let us break the words down, okay, so that we can have understanding, so that we can have direction about where we are going. All right, so what is support, first of all? Okay, what is support? Okay, so in the basic term, in your family, there is a support system, okay, for your family. Okay, it's just like a father is to the home or a mother is to the home. Okay, so a father is a support system, the major support system of the home. Okay, because it's the one that provides for the family. All right, that is the one that makes the family to keep running, because if food is not money for food is not coming to the house, okay, you see that the family can easily crumble. Okay, there will be quarrel here today, quarrel here tomorrow. All right, so the father is like the support system. All right, so now in biology, what is support? What does support mean? Okay, in biology, we refer to support as structural stability. Okay, we refer to support as what? Structural stability. Okay, structural stability, okay, that helps an organism. Structural stability that helps an organism to maintain its position. That helps an organism to maintain its position, either its position, its shape, okay, or posture. All right. So we refer to what support in biology as structural stability that helps an organism to maintain its shape, that helps an organism to maintain its posture, or helps to what? Maintain the position of the organism. Okay, so it's a support. Okay, so like we have what? There are support systems for both plants. There also was support system for both what? Animals. Okay, so now what about tissues? We'll talk about support now. All right, I'll talk about support. What about tissues? Okay, and remember very well, we talked about tissues. Okay, we said our tissues what? Tissue is formed by the coming together of what? Of a group of cells. Okay, cells come together to form tissue. Okay, so cells come together, cells that have similar shape and function. Cells that have what? Similar shape and function. All right, they come together and then they act together to perform a specific function. Okay, those are called what? Tissues. So we can say tissues are cells or group of cells of similar shape and function that come together, that act together to perform a specific what? Function. Okay, so those are what? Tissues. So supporting tissues. So just like in plants and animals, okay, we have what? Supporting what? Tissues. Okay, we have what? Support what? Systems. For plants, we have the ones we call the parenchyma. Okay, parenchyma. We have the one we call the Collenchyma. All right. They also have one we call the Sclerenchyma. All of these are some of the examples of what? Of support system. Okay, of supporting what? Tissues in what? In plants or plants. But for animals, okay, we have bones. All right, we have bones. We have cartilages. Okay, we have what? Tendons. Okay, and the likes. Okay, all of these, they are what? They are support systems. They are support systems what? In animals. Okay, so they help what? To give what? The organism mechanical strength. Okay, or structural stability. So those are what? That is what supporting tissue what does. Okay, in an organism. Okay, so there are tissues that help to what? Give an organism mechanical strength. Okay, and what? And support. Okay, so now let us see, there are two types of what? Of tissues. There are two types of tissues. But before we talk about tissues are divided into two, before we talk about tissues, please, I've noticed that some of you are the reason why other people are not succeeding. All right, because you watch a video like this, you know who like the video, and liking the video alone will send what? These signals to what? Other people's devices. When they come on YouTube or go online to search for classes, okay, it will be recommended to them. So please just click on that like button right now as you are watching. Click on the like button. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Subscription is free to the channel. It's just for you to be notified whenever we release a new video. Won't you like it that whenever we release a new video, you are notified on your phone? Okay, so click on that red subscribe button if you have not subscribed. Likewise, do not forget to drop comments. If you have questions, drop them in the comment sections. Okay, if you do not have any questions, just say thank you, Master T, for what you are doing. We love what you are doing, or we hate what you are doing, or improve on this. What is more also, you can also what? Share the link of this video to your friends. You can share to your classmates. Come and enjoy what you did not enjoy in school, because this class promises to be very, very fun. Okay, so support what? Tissue. Just imagine a human being without a bone. Okay, human being without bones in the body. Okay, the person is looking at what? Leg bearer. All right, so those are supporting what? System. Those are supporting what? Tissues. Okay, in humans. Okay, so now let us now talk about what? Tissues. We say tissues are divided into two. Okay, so if you have tissues, all right, we have tissues that are divided into two. We have one we call what? Plant tissues. We have plant tissues. Then also we have what? Animal tissues. Okay, so we have plant tissues. Okay, we also have what? Animal tissues. So tissues are divided into two: plant tissues and what? Animal tissues. Okay, if you do not get that again, I'll go over it again. I said that what? Tissues are divided into what? Two: plant tissues and animal tissues. Now, what are plant tissues? Okay, plant tissues. Okay, we're not talking about plant tissues for now. Okay, so let me not jump ahead of myself. Okay, first of all, plant tissues are divided into two. Okay, we have number one, we have meristematic tissues. Okay, then two, we have permanent tissues. Okay, so plant tissues are divided into two: meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. All right, so also these meristematic tissues, they are divided into three. There are three types of meristematic tissues. Okay, number one, I'm sorry that I'm doing this. Just understand, number one, we have the one we call apical meristem. We have the apical meristem. Number two, we have the lateral meristem. Then number three, we have the intercalary meristem. We are going to see all of these very, very soon. Okay, we're just doing an introduction to the topic so that your head will open as you are enjoying the beginning of the class. Okay, so as we continue, it becomes even more easier for you to grasp. Okay, so permanent tissues are also divided into two. We have one we call the simple permanent tissue. Then number two, we have one we call the complex permanent tissues. Okay, the complex permanent tissues. Okay, so now this simple permanent tissues are of course divided into three. Okay, this simple permanent tissue, number one, we have the parenchyma. Then also number two, we have what? The collenchyma. And then number three, we also have what? The Sclerenchyma. Okay, so these are the three types of simple permanent tissues that we have. Okay, why complex permanent tissues are divided into two? Now, those two are what? Number one, we have the xylem. Okay, then number two, we have the phloem. All right, so please just take note of all of these. Okay, so we say plant tissues are divided into two: plant tissues and animal tissues. I will say that what? Plant tissues are divided into two: the meristematic tissues and the permanent tissues. Say there are three types of meristematic tissues. The one we call apical meristematic tissues or apical meristem. You have the lateral meristematic tissues or the lateral meristem. Then we have the intercalary meristem. Okay, those are the three types of meristematic tissues. Then for permanent, they're divided into two. We have the simple permanent tissues, which are the parenchyma, the collenchyma, and the sclerenchyma. All right. Why we have two types of complex permanent tissues, which are what? The xylem and the phloem, which are not new to you. Okay, so let's quickly go to animal tissues. All right, so animal tissues are divided into four. Please take note of that. Okay, they are divided into four. Number one, we have the epithelial tissues. Number two, we have the connective tissues. Number three, we have the muscular tissues. Okay, muscular tissues. Then number four, we have the nervous tissues. Okay, so these are the classification of what? Of the animal tissues. Okay, we have four types. We have the epithelial tissues, we have the connective tissues, we have the muscular tissues, then we have what? The nervous tissues. Okay, now these epithelial tissues, okay, they are classified based on one, shape of cells, okay, and two, number of layers. Okay, so we classify epithelial tissues based on what? On the number of layers and what? The shape of the cells. Based on number of layers, okay, we have what? Two types. Okay, number one is what? The simple epithelium. This simple epithelium means that what? They are one cell layer thick. Okay, that is, they are what? One celled layer thick. Okay, or let's say one cell. Okay, they are one cell layer thick. Simple epithelium. They also have what we call the stratified what epithelium. This stratified epithelium means they have what multiple layers thick. Okay, multiple layers. Okay, that are thick. Okay, so based on the number of layers, we have simple epithelium, which means what they are one cell layer thick. Then we have what the stratified epithelium, which means that they have multiple layers cell thickness. Now we also have based on shape of cells. Based on shape of cell, they are divided into three. One, we call them squamous. Okay, where will I write this? Okay, so we are done with this. All right, we are done with this. Okay, let me create space. So now based on the based on the shape of cells, we have number one. We have one we call squamous. This squamous means they are flat. Okay, squamous means they are flat. They also have cuboidal. This cuboidal means they are cubed shaped. Okay, then we also have thirdly, which is now columnar. Okay, this means that they are tall. Okay, or column shaped. All right. Okay, so they are tall or column shaped. So based on the shape of cells, we have squamous, which are flat. We have cuboidal, which are cube shaped. Then we have a columnar, okay, which means that they are tall, okay, or column shaped. So those are this is how we classify epithelial tissues. Okay, now when it comes to connective tissues, there are three types of connective tissues, and they are one, we have loose. We have loose. Okay, we also have dense. Then we have fluid. Okay, these are the three types of connective tissues we have. We have the loose connective tissue, we have the dense connective tissue, then we have the fluid connective tissues. Okay, then also for muscular is also divided into three. Okay, one, we have the one we call the striated. Okay, number one, we have the one we call this muscular. Number one, we have the one we call the striated. All right, this striated means they are skeletal. Okay, skeletal muscles. Okay, they also have the unstriated. This one, they are smooth muscles. Okay, then we also have the cardiac. Okay, the cardiac. These are the third one, the cardiac muscular tissues. All right. So now, basically, this is what we're going to be looking at in the next episodes to come. Okay, we're going to be discussing a lot about all of these. Okay, this is an introductory class to supporting tissues. It's just to give us an idea of what we are going to see very, very soon. But we're not going to end here today. Obviously, we're going to talk about the meristematic tissues first. Okay, and then afterward, the next episode we'll talk about permanent tissue. Then we'll take it on gently until we get to our goal post and score our goal. All right. So now let us go to meristematic tissues. So please, even as we continue, please ensure that you like this video. Okay, like this video. All right. Get your O3 Schools JAMB app or the WAEC app and start practicing. You do not have time to be playing. All right, I don't know how many times I will stress this. Okay, you do not have time to be playing. The student who scored 358 last year using this application, the students who scored 332, 313, 328, 322, and so on and so forth, many 300s. They started very early. Okay, students who scored 284, who are regretting that they did not start very early, okay, you will not regret also. So please ensure that you get the application and start practicing immediately. So we're looking at meristematic tissues. Okay, meristematic tissues. Now, what are meristematic tissues? Meristematic tissues are actually those tissues that keep on dividing. Okay, meristematic tissues, I come again, are those tissues that keep on dividing. They keep on dividing. Okay, they are those tissues. These are tissues that those tissues that keep on dividing. Okay, so tissues that are actively dividing, are what we call meristematic tissues. They are the tissues that are responsible for the growth of plants. okay, in specific regions, okay? There are tissues responsible for the growth of plants, okay? But of course, in what? In specific regions, all right? So these are the tissue, meristematic tissue, like I said, that tissues are that those tissues that keep on dividing. They are active and they keep on what? Dividing, okay? We say that there are those tissues that are responsible for the growth of plants in specific regions, whether in the shoot and root, whether in the stem, okay, whether in the nodes and the internodes, all right? Those are what? Meristematic tissues. And meristematic tissues are also known as the dividing tissues of the plant, also call them the dividing or tissues of the plant. Okay, we call them what? The dividing or tissues of the plant. Those are what we call the meristematic tissues. Okay, those tissues that keep on what? Dividing are meristematic. They are active and they keep on what? Dividing. All right, they are responsible for the growth of plants in specific regions. Okay, and we call them the dividing tissues of the plant. Okay, all these are what? Meristematic what? Tissues. So now let's quickly see general characteristics of meristematic tissues. General characteristics of meristematic tissues. Number one thing we know very sure is that what? That they are what? They are actively dividing. Okay, they are actively what? Dividing. So number one, we say that what? General characteristics, okay, of meristematic tissues. Number one, okay, we say they are active and what? Dividing. Okay, they are active, dividing what? Cells. They are active, okay, they are active, dividing cells. They are active, dividing cells. This is one of the major characteristics, okay, of meristematic or tissues. Okay, now number two, also we say that they have a dense cytoplasm. Number two, we say that they have a dense cytoplasm. Okay, so this is another characteristics, okay, of meristematic what? Tissues. All right, then also number three, they have what we call a prominent nucleus. They have a prominent nucleus. Number three, they have a prominent nucleus. That's another characteristic of what? Of meristematic. What? You must take note of this one. All right, all of these characteristics, they are exam questions for you. Okay, so they can ask you which of the following is not a characteristic of meristematic tissues. All right, so that you will not be found one thing, you will not be scratching your head in the hall. Okay, you know that they are active, dividing cells, you know that they have a dense cytoplasm, they have a very huge, okay, instead of saying prominent nucleus, you can say they have a very huge, okay, huge nucleus. All right, so you can see huge nucleus. Now somebody wey don cram this one, say na prominent nucleus, no mean prominent. Okay, you now say, my Sati did not teach us, I did not even see any question. So that are funny. Okay, so see, there's no way you will read, you will study, okay, and then you fail exam if you really read. Okay, see, in fact, no matter who the village people that are following you, if you study very well, not cramming, all right. Most of you used to misunderstand cramming from studying. Okay, you cram something because you just want to know a temporal, just want to use it temporarily. Okay, it does not stick there. So any simple alteration in what you have crammed can lead to your termination. Okay, so that's why you don't cram, you study. All right, so characteristics: dense cytoplasm, prominent what? Nucleus. Also another characteristic is that they lack what? They lack vacuoles. They lack what? Vacuoles. Okay, so you know what vacuoles are for, isn't it? Vacuoles are used for storage. Okay, storage of what? Of materials. Okay, so now they do not have vacuoles. Why do they not have vacuoles? Okay, you should be able to ask yourself, why they no get vacuoles? All right, the reason is because they are actively dividing. They divide very, very, very fast, very, very quickly. So they do not have any need, okay, to store anything. Okay, so they have no need to store anything because they are quickly dividing, very fast. All right, so they lack what? Vacuoles, because what? They are actively dividing, they keep on dividing. All right, and then also another characteristics, number 5, they have a thin cell wall. All right, all these are characteristics of what? Of meristematic what? Tissues. Okay, they are active dividing cells, they have a dense cytoplasm, they have a prominent what? Nucleus. Okay, a very huge big nucleus. Then have what? They lack vacuoles. Okay, and the one number 5, they have what? A thin cell wall. Now next, it is important to also know what the 3 types of what? Of meristematic tissues that we have, and I've mentioned them before. What are they? Number 1, we have what? Apical meristem. Then number 2, we have the lateral meristem. Number 3, we now have the intercalary meristem. We're going to quickly see what are all of these. Okay, see their locations, all right, and see what their importance to the growth of what? Of the plant. Okay, so now let us quickly see types of meristematic or tissues. Okay, so types. Okay, number 1, we have what? The apical meristem. Okay, the apical what? Meristem. This is the first type, okay, that we are going to look at. Then number 2, we're also going to look at what? The lateral meristem. Okay, then number 3, I'm going to look at what? Intercalary what? Meristem. Okay, so now what is important here? It is important for you to what? To know the locations, okay, of each of all of them. Okay, know their locations in the plant, all right, and also what? Know their what? Their function. Okay, so I'm going to look at what? List their position right now, and then also what? List their function, so that what? You know them, because those are the angles where questions can come from in an exam what condition, but for both what WAEC and JAMB. All right, so please pay full attention to what? To these. So now let us begin with what? With apical meristem. Where is apical meristem located? Okay, it is located it is located at the roots and shoot apex. Okay, it is found at the shoot and what? And root what? Apex. Okay, at the tips of roots and what? And shoots. Okay, it is found at the tip. Okay, at the tip of root and what? And shoot. So that's why I say they are found in the root and shoot what? Apex. Okay, and they are responsible for the extension of the root and shoot of a plant. They are responsible, that their function now. They are responsible. If you want to write, please take note and what? And write responsible for the extension, okay, of the shoots and roots of what? Of plants. Okay, so we say that they are found at the root and shoot apex. You must take note of the location. Okay, so apical meristem is found at the root and shoot apex, or at the root tip and what? And the shoot what? Tip. Okay, and they are responsible for the extension of shoot and root of plant. Extension. Okay, this means that what? That they are primarily responsible for what? For primary growth. For primary what? Growth. Okay, and when we mean primary growth, it means what? Increase in length. Increase in length of what? Of the plant. Okay, so they are responsible for primary growth. Increase in the length of what? Of the shoot and what? And the root. Okay, increase in the length of what? Of the plant. All right, so primary growth, they are majorly responsible for primary growth. That is what? Apical meristem. All right, so example is what? Just like the growth of what? Of the height of what? Of a plant. Growth in height. Growth in height of a plant is an example. Example, growth in height of a plant. Okay, that is what? Apical what? Meristem. It is found in the root tips and what? The shoot tips, and even in some part of what? Of the stem. Okay, or in growing stem. All right, it is found in the root tip, in the shoot tip, okay, or what? In growing stems. Okay, those are the locations where you can find what? Apical meristem. All right, taking what place. Now that will not take us to what? To lateral what? Meristem. To lateral meristem. Okay, so lateral meristem is responsible for the lateral growth of what? Of the plant. for the lateral growth of what? Of the plant. And they are present laterally. They are present laterally, okay? They are present laterally, okay? In what? In stems and roots, okay, of what? Of plants, okay? They are present laterally in stems and roots of what? Of plants, okay? That is the location. This is where we find what? Them, okay? We say they are responsible for the lateral growth of what? Of the plant, okay? What we mean is that what? They are responsible for the growth of what? Of the plant along the sides, along the sides of the stems and what? The roots, okay? They are responsible for the growth of the plant along the sides of what? Of the stems and the root. That's what we mean by lateral, along their sides, okay? The side of the stems and the roots. Those are what? Lateral what? Lateral what? Meristem. That is where lateral meristem is what? Is located. Okay, now, we also have what? Intercalary meristem. But before we talk about intercalary meristem, please take note here that lateral meristem, they are responsible for secondary. We say what? Apical is responsible for primary growth. Okay, the one we said increase in length. Okay, lateral meristem is responsible for secondary growth. And by secondary growth, we mean what? Increase in what? In thickness. Okay, or the one we call what? Girth. Girth. Okay, all right. So they are responsible for secondary growth. Okay, that is what? Thickness, or what? Increase in what? In thickness and what? And girth. Okay, so you see trees having what? Bark. Okay, having back, they become what? They're becoming thicker. They now have one strong back. Okay, that is what? Lateral what? Meristem. All right, so they are responsible for what? For secondary growth, increase in thickness and what? And girth. Also, there are what? Two types of what? Of lateral meristem. Number one, we have what? We have the vascular cambium. Okay, this vascular cambium, what it does is what? Is to add what? Xylem and phloem. Okay, we're actually going to see the uses of what? Of these two. Okay, they add what? Xylem and what? And phloem. Vascular what? Cambium. Okay, they add xylem and phloem. They also have the one we call what? Cork cambium. This cork cambium, what they do basically is what? Is to add what? Back. Okay, to add back. That thick outer coating of what? Of a tree. Okay, those are what? That is what? The back. Okay, so this one what? Is to form back. Cork cambium forms back. Vascular cambium adds xylem and phloem. They are types of what? Of lateral what? Meristem. All right. Then now let us now go to properly now to what? To the intercalary meristem. And for the intercalary meristem, they are found at the what? Nodes. They are found at the nodes and internodes. Okay, so they are present. They are located at the nodes and internodes, and they help basically in the vertical elongation, of the plant. Okay, especially those parts that are lost to what? To grazing. Okay, for example, imagine that maybe a cow comes now to your feed, okay, and eats your grass. Before you know, they grow up again. Okay, so what is responsible for that is intercalary what? Meristem. Okay, so they help in what? In the regrowth. They help in the regrowth of parts that are lost to what? To grazing. Okay, parts that are lost. Okay, they help in the regrowth of those lost parts. Okay, those that are lost due to maybe grazing, or maybe you even clear the grass. Okay, so that is what? Intercalary what? Meristem. So for what it is worth, these types of what? Of meristematic tissues, the apical, the lateral, and the intercalary, what is important, you must know what? Their location, and you must know what? Their function. You must know their location, and you must know their what? Their function. Say the apical meristem, okay, located at the root and shoot tip or apex okay, and they're responsible for primary growth, increase in length, okay. We say the lateral, they are responsible for the lateral growth of what? Of the plant, and they are present along the sides of what? Of the stem and what? And roots, okay. And of course, we also say that what? Intercalary, all right, they are present at the nodes and what? And the internodes. They help in the vertical elongation of the plant, all right. So you must know all of what? All of these what? Functions and what? And the locations of each of them, okay, so that you can say, before you now beat your chest and say you have finally what? Arrived at what? Understanding what? Meristematic tissues. So in summary, okay, we said that what? Apical meristem help in the growth of the plant in the upward and even in the downward what? Direction, okay. They help in the growth of the plant in the upward and what? And the downward what? Direction, all right. So at the beginning, the stem is very, very small, okay, but eventually it becomes what? More thicker, okay. As it becomes more thicker, it now forms what? This lateral what? Meristem, okay. While of course the intercalary what? Meristem is there, which helps the what? The plant to what? To grow what? Branches, okay. It helps the plant to grow branches, branches. All right. So these are what? Their uses, okay. So now, why do we even say that what? Meristematic tissues that what? They are dividing, okay. So we call them dividing what? Tissues, because they divide so that they can what? They can lead to what? To the growth of the plant, okay. They divide so that they can what? Lead to the growth of the plant. So that is all we need to know about what? Meristematic tissues. Say that tissues that are what? That keep on what? Dividing. They are active dividing what? Cells, okay. And we call them the dividing tissues of what? Of the plant, okay. So if you have any question, you are going to ask them what? In the comment section. But for now, we're going to what? Stop here, all right, so that what? We can take questions, okay. And then what? In the next episode, we'll continue from where we stop because of time, so that we do not bore you. Now, basically, let us see the question we have here, all right. So they say, which of the following, that is biology 1997 number 3. They say, which of the following is the youngest plant tissues? Youngest plant tissue. A says meristem, all right. B say phloem. C say epidermis. D says what? Xylem, okay. So basically, obviously there, the answer of what? Will be what? Meristem, okay. So it begins from what? From the meristem. They now divide, they keep on dividing, and then even you will see when we start talking about what? Permanent tissues, you see that what? Even the permanent tissues were formed from what? From meristematic what? Tissues, okay. So the youngest plant tissues there, correct answer what? Is A, meristem. All right. So there are so many other questions on this application. Just ensure you use your question search feature. Use all the features in the application to make yourself very sound and prepared for your examination. My name is Master T. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching.